I bet the entire proceeds of this video, which is currently zero, but if you subscribe and share, it could become a whole lot more, that when I say disabled person, the first thing you get a mental image of is a white cane or a wheelchair. Well, fun fact, Roy Orbison was never blind, he just wore shades. It was his thing, just like Kiss wearing a tad too much makeup. Moral of the story is, wearing shades doesn't make one blind, nor is wearing excessive makeup render someone a clown. It's all about perception and context, which very conveniently brings me to the 7 theoretical models of disability. Turns out you can have 7 of more than just dwarves, legs on a slightly disabled spider, candles in a Jewish candelabrum, continence or hate, days in a week, each of them ending in a Y. Who knew 7 was such a popular number? Go on, leave a comment if you were born on the 7th of any month. Let's start with the medical model. This is unfortunately the most popular one for the time being, and it tends to look at the individual as broken and needing to be fixed through some sort of medical intervention or support mechanism. People, like everything in nature, come in all shapes, sizes, and other variations. The world is very diverse, get used to it. The last person who didn't was called Adolf Hitler, and we all know how horribly that went. The social model highlights the fact that individuals with disabilities are in many ways disabled by the world around them, by environments that aren't inclusive enough. While hard to argue with that when 98% of the web was created with zero regards to various disabilities, it does tend to downplay certain biological realities. Let's put it this way, a 45-degree incline is not a wheelchair ramp, but a death trap. The biopsychosocial model, besides being a mouthful, is also the most difficult to grasp, partly because it's the newest model, but also because it's a multifaceted model. It requires a good understanding of the 3 key factors: biological, psychological, and socio-environmental. It's a holistic and nuanced approach, and a lot fairer than other models, which is great, but unfortunately makes it also the most difficult to apply. In comparison to the biopsychosocial model, the economic model tends to oversimplify it and attempt to solve everything with money. While some might claim that money makes the world go round, and at times financial support may be a solution, it creates a lot of controversy around who qualifies for it and often tends to be a fit model only from policymakers' perspective preoccupied with social benefit quotas. A bit of a road to hell paved with good intentions type of scenario, if you ask me. The functional solutions model is what tends to get inventors' juices flowing, as just like the economic model, it assumes that all disabilities need is some groundbreaking technological innovation. While this does genuinely help a lot and attracts a large new wave of accessibility professionals, when some of those innovations, such as the perfectly accessible HTML standard, get ignored or become financially unattainable, say an iPhone or a Braille reader, it kind of misses the point. The social identity model is probably the most interesting one, as it flips the story around, turning disability into a source of pride and identity. The deaf community, for example, tends not to consider itself disabled, but simply a minority that speaks a different language and has its own culture. With this, of course, unfortunately, also comes the downside of feeling excluded should one not fit the group's expectations. "You poor thing" should probably be the charity model's slogan, because it does look at disabled persons as unfortunate, needy, and helpless. In fairness, while the intentions are good and wanting to help is encouraged, it's quite a tone-deaf approach and can feel condescending, and often the subjects of this model are actually spectacularly good at taking care of themselves and don't require charity, which also has the downside of often being short-lived. Looking at these 7 models, the engineer in me of course is most intrigued by the functional solutions model. Yes, I suppose I am part of the new wave. But innovation at low cost is often nigh impossible, or takes unaffordable amounts of time. The objective pragmatist in me, however, recognizes that we should probably all start at the biopsychosocial model and combine that with some of the others as needed. Let me know in the comments which model you prefer and perhaps identify with, and why. Until next time, stay creative and accessible. Attila, your accessibility ally.